BNP Media Plumbing Group's Mike Miazga here at Plumbing Group headquarters in Deerfield, Illinois. Joined right now by Uponor's Dale Stroud. Nice to see you again.
Hi, Mike.
Every year Uponor takes a look at a lot of different construction data that comes in from various different sources. What are you guys seeing right now in terms of where the home building industry is headed, and maybe now and maybe a little bit into the future?
Yeah, we follow the housing starts and housing permits and so forth, and we do see, obviously, as we can see from an economic basis, that the housing starts are moving up fairly solidly, still well below the historical norms, but certainly headed up in the right direction. This year will be up 20% over last year, and probably a similar increase next year. We do see a change in the number or percentage of single-family homes is down somewhat from historical levels. So right now, multifamily is kind of leading the parade to get out of the lower levels that have been there previously.
And what does that translate into the PEX industry in general and Uponor specifically?
Well, PEX, during the downturn in the housing industry, PEX actually did very well. It outperformed the industry largely due to its replacing some of the other materials used for plumbing, as an example, during the downturn. So PEX outperformed the industry, the housing industry, during the downturn, and has really continued to outperform during the upturn now. So PEX is doing quite well, and frankly, we're doing even probably better than the rest of the PEX industry right now ourselves.
Is where the market is right now, does that put Uponor in a confident stage going forward?
Yes, we're pretty optimistic about the future, both from our residential business as well as our non-residential. There's a lot of opportunity in non-residential where PEX is not as widely used right now. So we're pretty optimistic about the future.
It's good to see you as always, Dale.
Thanks, Mike.
All right. BNP Media Plumbing Group's Mike Miazga back here again, joined now by Uponor's Devin Abellon. Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
Now, a huge growth sector in Uponor currently, radiant cooling.
Yes.
For folks that might not be 100% familiar with that, can you give us just a quick overview of
Sure.
what that kind of technology entails?
Sure, it's very similar to radiant heating, where the PEX tubing is embedded into the concrete slab, and it could be the floor slab, the walls, it could be the ceilings, and then we're circulating water through that slab. And by controlling the temperature of the water we're circulating, we're able to control the slab temperature and then drive heat transfer in one direction or the other. So in terms of a radiant cooling system, we'd be circulating chilled water rather than the heating hot water, creating this cooler surface, and then naturally that cooled surface is going to be drawing energy, drawing heat away from the rest of the space. So it can become a very effective way to cool a space.
Now, you presented us earlier with some data. What kind of energy savings are we potentially talking about?
Well, it varies. You know, there are a number of studies that have shown a radiant cooling system, depending on the environment that it's installed in, could save anywhere between 17 to 42%. That was based on a Lawrence Berkeley National Lab study versus a baseline VAV system. There have been subsequent studies done by other groups that show energy savings over 50%.
Great stuff. Typically a commercial-based application, what kind of sectors are you seeing most popular to put radiant cooling in?
Well, we see a lot of installations in general lobby areas, large open spaces, airport terminals, but what we're seeing more and more of is the use of radiant cooling in more traditional spaces, if you will, office buildings, school buildings. And I think it's more, as engineers, as building owners start to understand the system and the capabilities of the system, they see the opportunity there for greater energy savings by incorporating it as part of their primary HVAC system.
Now, from an engineering standpoint, contractor standpoint, what kind of pushback or hesitancy might come with this somewhat newer technology?
Well, you know, the first thing that always comes up is the concern for condensation. I think there have been projects in the past where, you know, they're circulating, you know, 55 or 42 degree water, chilled water through the slab, and certainly if you hit the dew point, you're going to get condensation. Now the industry, we've got a much better understanding of how to control the water temperatures, how to continuously monitor indoor relative humidity, and so now the controls are in place where we can really manage the system so we don't run into condensation issues. That's probably one of the key issues. Other concerns, you know, there's that lack of familiarity, not understanding how the system should be zoned, how it should be controlled. And as we start, you know, do more and more of these projects, there's a much better understanding of how to do that properly.
A lot of good stuff going on in Uponor.
Great.
Nice to see you.
Good to see you.